But remember, the market doesn't go in a straight line, right? So what goes up will come down. So do you have a plan to buttress yourself from... Welcome to another episode from the TF team, Between Dollars to Dreams. This is our weekly news recap. And guess what? The big banks are reporting their earnings. And where do you think it's going? Up it is. Yeah, the big banks' earnings are going up. Scotiabank had their earnings. They're up $2.2 billion for this third quarter, up from last quarter. The same thing with CIBC. CIBC had their earnings. They topped $2.1 billion in net profit. So again, that's after all taxes, after paying off all their debts. They had an extra $2.2 billion Scotia that was, and 2.1 for CIBC. And the biggest bank in Canada, Royal, topped over $5 billion in their latest quarter. So what do you think happened to their stock price? And RBC also raised their dividends. So if you know me, I'm a big fan of dividends. So who pays dividends? Profitable companies. So if you're going to invest and have some type of diversification, if you're going to invest in a segregated fund or mutual fund, think of a Canadian dividend fund, and you should be doing fairly well this year. Because when I look at the markets this year, the TSX is up 26% year to date. We've got Dow Jones is up about 11%. The Nasdaq is up about 20%. Gold, oh my goodness, gold is up about 63%. Pretty much everything is green. Everything is up except for, as my friends keep bugging me about getting more exposure to crypto, Bitcoin is actually down this year. So all the news is kind of positive at the moment. But remember, the market doesn't go in a straight line, right? So what goes up will come down. So do you have a plan to buttress yourself from the it's going to be inevitable that the markets will go down. But if you do have a plan for long term, generally speaking, the trend is up. On the bank side, also another bank, one of the banks I used to, when I was in Montreal, I had an account at the Laurentian Bank. Well, that 175-year-old bank is going to be bye-bye. So they sold some of their assets, their commercial side, to Fairstone Bank, and the remaining assets to National Bank. The Laurentian name probably will still be around, probably more in a commercial capacity, but on the banking side, those days are gone. So what does it mean for depositors, for people that have accounts there? Not a whole lot. So you're not losing your money. You're not calling CDIC. Yesterday you had an account at Laurentian. Today you have an account at National Bank. And so your money is still safe and secure. So that was one of the good things about in Canada, some of our regulatory issues. Some people don't like the fact that we got too many rules and regulations, but it kind of buttresses ourselves from whenever there's bad things that are happening in the market. At least us as consumers, we are protected. So all this to say, if you have a plan, then continue on the right path. If you don't have a plan, well, maybe this is one of your 2026 financial resolutions or New Year's resolutions to basically have a plan. Think about it. On a lighter note, it took us 11 years. Well, not us. I wasn't part of it. I'm not that smart. But it took man 11 years to get from Earth to the moon with the Apollo project. It's taking over 15 years for the Eglinton Crosstown to get from Scarborough to Mississauga, and they're still not finished. So you tell me, do they have a plan? Maybe that plan is not working to fruition. So you don't want to be like the Eglinton Crosstown. Have a plan to ensure that 2026 will be a banner year for you and your family so you can make your dreams come true, come to reality. So please like, subscribe to our podcast, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Between Dollars to Dreams. Bye for now.